hello to our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. Coming up here, top of the hour, it's Bournemouth playing host to Fulham. Let's think about Bournemouth here. Good news, they're in the top half. They're exceeding expectations. Bad news, some of the bigger clubs are now eyeing all that young talent and their manager as well. Where do you see this going?
Yeah, it's a major success story, Paul, but that also brings major interest in some of their players. We'll begin with Dean Huijsen. There's a £50 million release clause in his contract. He's the subject of huge interest from the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle United and Tottenham. They've all been meeting with his representatives in recent weeks. Both the player and Bournemouth would like this to be done and dusted relatively quickly, so he is expected to be a departure. Let's see what happens with Milos Kerkez. He's also attracting interest from even clubs the size of Liverpool, Manchester City, on the continent, AC Milan and Napoli as well. And then there's Antoine Semenyo. What a season he has had. And a player that Manchester United, their manager, Ruben Amorim, is very fond of. Now, they would be looking to sell him for a fee of in excess of what they got for Dominic Solanke, which was £65 million, because there's no release clause. They would want a club record. I don't think both he and Kerkez will go after Huijsen, so it's maybe two of the three. Their manager, Andoni Iraola, is attracting significant admirers of his own, but the feeling at Bournemouth is that he's going to stay and go into the final year of his contract, maybe sign a new one, see how it goes, that a move for him can wait. There will be arrivals into the club as well. Why they need to sell players is because they've spent so heavily on players. The best part of £300 million since Bill Foley, the US businessman, came into the club in December 2022. And they need to comply with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules. They've got huge ambitions at Bournemouth. They've opened an amazing new training centre. They've got plans to redevelop or rebuild their stadium to take it from a capacity of about 10,000 to up to double that, around 20,000 in the next couple of years. They wanted to get into Europe within 5 years of the 2022 takeover, but that looks like it's going to happen even sooner. They've beefed up their executive structure. Of course, Richard Hughes left as technical director, sporting director. He went to Liverpool, replaced by Thiago Pinto. They've got Iraola. They've got Bill Foley running things. Simon Francis is the technical director down there. They've formed a really good unit that's taking Bournemouth from strength to strength as part of this multi-club operation under Bill Foley. He's said to be engaged in everything that's going on at the club, and they appear to be going places under him. So yeah, exciting times, but they could see a few faces depart this summer.
A different type of times for Spurs this season. They lost again to Wolves yesterday. That's now 17 defeats this Premier League season, most ever in a Premier League season for them. So what's that mean? What's on the line Thursday in the Europa League quarterfinal?
It's no exaggeration, Paul, to say this has been a disastrous season for Tottenham Hotspur by their standards. And I think a change in the dugout this summer is beginning to look increasingly likely. That's certainly the sentiment around football and the people that I speak to. It's not a personal thing on Ange Postecoglou. It's down to performances, results, dating back to really since the first 10 games of last season. They've not been good at all, and the atmosphere among the fan base has certainly taken a dip towards him after he was being praised so heavily right at the beginning. Players are not improving. I think that's a really key issue. And also they feel at Tottenham that the squad is so much better than how they are performing, and that Ange Postecoglou is not getting the best out of them. There have been excuses, mitigations like injuries. He's been pointing to moles in the dressing room, but I just don't think that is going to wash. And the hierarchy at Tottenham may be looking towards alternatives. I'm not aware of them speaking to anybody so far, because the full focus is on Thursday's critical second leg in the Europa League against Eintracht Frankfurt. But even if they are to get through, then you could see a change still at Tottenham this summer, which is a shame for Ange Postecoglou, but it's the nature of the beast on what we're seeing. And he has looked a bit of a broken man based on the demeanour he's been taking on the touchline. Let's see how they get on in the Europa League tie. If they are to make that alteration, names such as Iraola, who we've spoken about there, of Marco Silva, who we'll see up against him tonight, of Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace impressing so much. And there will be plenty more in the frame if there is to be a vacancy there, because Tottenham is such an attractive club. Daniel Levy remains in charge of things. There are more fan protests planned, but he's not going anywhere. No signs of leaving. And in fact, when he gets this sort of criticism, those around him say he becomes even more determined to eventually bring success to the club. They're strengthening their executive operation with the addition of Vinay Venkatesham, appointed to the newly created role of chief executive. He'll be starting in the summer. He previously held that role at Arsenal, and he'll be in charge of all operational matters on and off the field. And he'll be working in conjunction with the likes of technical director Johan Langer, head of recruitment Rob McKenzie, and of course Daniel Levy, to try and finally bring some progress to this club on the field. But whether it's with Ange Postecoglou beyond this summer is in increasing doubt, Paul.
With the latest there on Spurs and Bournemouth, that's our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. David, as always, thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.